Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to our WrestleMania 30 recap / review. We'll be talking a lot about, breaking down all the matches going on, breaking down all the segments, some of the crazy shit that happened here at the 30th anniversary of WrestleMania. I, of course, am your host, Caleb Johnston. I am here with Jamie. Jamie, how are you doing this evening?
I'm doing mighty well, and WrestleMania 30 was a fucking fantastic show. But, okay, just to let everybody know, we're recording this on April the 8th, I guess you could say, because it's kind of the 8th right now. And Raw just ended a few hours ago, but we are not going to cover Raw. We are saving that for Wrestling with Mac, which will be out later on this week. But other than that, I'm doing mighty fine. WrestleMania 30 was fucking great, and I'm excited to dive in this.
And we'll dive into it, we shall. The opening contest we saw was the Usos defending the WWE Tag Team Championships in a Fatal 4-Way Elimination Tag Team match against teams of Ryback, Los Matadores, and the Real Americans. Our first team eliminated was Jack Swagger, the Real Americans eliminated Los Matadores. I think the Usos eliminated Ryback. No, I think the Real Americans eliminated Ryback. I don't know why I thought that Usos did. Then the Usos got the pin on Cesaro for the finish, of course, which led to Cesaro turning on Swagger. Jamie, what did you think of the pre-show?
I thought that the match was really good. I thought that it set the tone really, really well for Mania. I didn't think it was I did not think that this was an elimination match, but when the bell rang, and I think it was you said that the first team that was gone was the Matadors, you said?
Yeah, Swagger made one of them tap.
Yeah. And when the bell rang, I thought, oh shit, Swagger and Cesaro are the tag champions. And then the bell rang, and then they said, oh, the Los Matadores has been eliminated. And I'm like, oh shit, so they did make this an elimination match. Awesome. But yeah, as for the match itself, I thought that it was really good. I thought that the final moments between the Usos and Swagger and Cesaro, I thought were fucking great. And I'm happy that they did the breakup at Mania. Kind of not at Mania, but they did, because they've been building this for weeks and weeks now, and Cesaro is going to get shot to the fucking moon. I can just see it happening now. And, but as for this match, I thought that it was really good. Us, our champ still, and yeah, I thought that it was a really, really good match.
Anyway, I didn't think the match was a 5-star classic, but it did what it needed to do in getting the crowd hyped up for the, card itself. So I thought it served its purpose for, being on the pre-show. And like I said, and people can finally stop bitching about Los Matadores being in it. They were the first team winning. Who cares?
Exactly. Exactly. And if they had a shot at winning them, Carlito completely killed it.
Oh my god, right?
If you guys have watched the Hall of Fame ceremony, you know what I'm talking about.
And then, so basically pre-show, and I think we both predicted the Usos would win as well.
Yes, we did.
I think we both went 5-3 because the matches we got wrong, and even though, I don't know, yeah, whatever, we'll get to that later. Yeah. Then the show actually opened with Hulk Hogan coming out, talking about the Silver Dome, even though they're in the Superdome, and then Stone Cold interrupted him, and that was fucking awesome, and with his Broken Skull Ranch shirt. Oh god, Stone Cold is so awesome, especially his podcast is so good. Sweet and then that happened, and then The Rock returned for the first time in a year, and it's just amazing wrestling-gasm of 3 of the greatest of all time in the ring together, opening up WrestleMania 30. It was a fantastic segment. I don't know about you.
That was just so awesome. I mean, Hogan being Hogan kicking off the show. That I did see coming, and that was great. Silver Dome, that was fucking funny, and and I like how he kind of saved himself by saying, well, brother, I was just thinking about the time when I slammed Andre the Giant at the Silver Dome at WrestleMania 3, and it's yeah, alright, Hogan. But anyways, then you hear the glass breaking, and then it's like, oh shit. And then here comes Austin. He does his thing. He says, man, Hogan, you've been doing this stuff since WrestleMania 1. What? WrestleMania 2? What? WrestleMania 3? What? And then he kept going and he kept going and going until I think 10. And Austin did his.
Which is weird. Hogan wasn't at 10.
This is also true. That's something that I thought all right, is he gonna go for the full 30, or is he gonna actually stop at the number that he wasn't at? But anyways, it was good. And then all of a sudden you hear Rock's music, and I think every wrestling fan's heart was racing at the speed of sound, because it was. I mean, it's like you said. 3 of arguably the greatest superstars of all time in one ring. 3 of the most iconic, most recognizable figures in sports entertainment history. The Rock, Stone Cold Steve Austin, and the immortal one, Hulk Hogan. And it was so great. And Rock did, and I think Rock did his thing there for, I think, about 5 or 6 minutes. And they all shared a beer. And that was fucking cool. And that was an awesome way to boot off WrestleMania.
It was fantastic, and it was just overall amazing, awesome segment with some. It was just so cool, just so awesome.
Just hearing the glass shatter was just epic.
I didn't realize that it'd been 3 years since Stone Cold had been on TV.
Yep.
I don't know how I didn't realize that.
Awesome.
What All-Star Raw was the last time?
Yeah, I think that was the Raw that he was the GM of for a night because the week before the anonymous GM was attempting to punish Austin, saying, "You're going to be the GM next week." All right. But still, I mean, hey, we got Austin, so it was really cool.
Yeah, and him and Punk had a great backstage segment.
They did. Want a beer? Yeah.
And then moving on from the opening segment to the opening match, we got Triple H versus Daniel Bryan in a match where the winner would move on to the triple threat match for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship later that night. Stephanie McMahon was at ringside looking gorgeous as ever, and this match was awesome.
Triple H
told an incredible story.
That's it. Hunter had such an epic entrance. It was like a combination of his past ones, and it was so cool.
Jesus, because they had the giant skull thing in the back. Yeah. They had the throne. They had the fucking mask. They had people around him. It wasn't people with shields, but it was people around them.
It was, and it was so awesome because the past 2 years he's had a so-so one, but you know what? This year, I mean, it's like you said, I believe, before we began recording, that the production value of WrestleMania 30 itself, they went all out, and they did a damn good job of going all out. It was, I mean, they spared no expense. And it was so good.
Only thing that would have made this entrance better was if in the background you hear, "We are Motorhead."
Motorhead was there, that would have been so epic. But, they are still on a budget, even though they are a billion-dollar company.
Does Motorhead really cost that much?
Well, Motorhead's a pretty legendary band.
That is true. I feel like a dick for saying that. And then, the match, oh my god, that match was just incredible. It was so back and forth and just fantastic. And it just told the story of Bryan had to beat this guy. And then people can shut the fuck up because Triple H put the most over guy in the company over in the opening match of WrestleMania cleanly. Now, that washes away any sins of burying people. So just shut the fuck up. Now people can shut the fuck up.
Match of the night. This was match of the night.
I would honestly say, yeah, probably match of the night.
I nominate this match of the night. These guys absolutely blew me away with this match. And it's like you said, Triple H is my favorite guy of all time. He's number one. He always has been. And I mean, like, yeah, sure, the burial jokes are... I mean, like, yeah, sure, they're... You know what? Actually, no, they're not funny, because if you think about it, when Triple H has put somebody over, he's put them over. Benoit,
Oh, yes.
Cena, Bryan, Batista.
Jeff Hardy.
Jeff Hardy, look where they went. Yeah, sure, Jeff Hardy may have taken him a while to get to the world title, but...
And yeah, sure, Benoit may have had some stuff happen.
Yeah, but we don't want to... I mean, like, that's a story for a different video if we ever decide to do one. But...
That, my friend, is a story for another day.
But anyways, Triple H put over Bryan very well. There were at some points where Triple H did look like he was going to tap out, and he didn't. And Bryan nails him with a running knee, and he beat him. Bryan was even pedigreed, and Bryan kicked out. So, yeah, burial. Explain to me how this was a burial, please. I'm begging somebody to explain to me how. I mean, yeah, sure, maybe Bryan might have gotten re-injured after the match because Triple H, nailed his shoulder with the steel chair. But, this is something that we will get to later on. But still, that was the story of the night. If Bryan was going to be physically able to compete in the world title match. That was it. So both guys did a fantastic job, and this match was fucking amazing.
This match was simply, the more I think about it, the more I think this was probably match of the night.
Yep.
It told the story of Bryan finally getting his revenge on Triple H, and that's exactly what it needed to do. He got the 3 count. And then, Triple H beat the shit out of him, and it set up for Bryan to be the ultimate underdog going into the WrestleMania 30 main event.
Exactly. And it was a phenomenal job.
After that, we got the 6-man tag team match, which was the New Age Outlaws and Kane versus the Shield. The thing with this is, the Shield, Cameron texted me, when the Shield were entering, saying, is this the Shield or Aces and Eights?
Well, so I wasn't the only person
and
who was
that
thinking
is so
that.
true.
Yeah. But
I was thinking Call of Duty.
That's also true. The ghosts there. Yeah.
Yeah, I was thinking about the ghosts, whatever you call it, the cover.
Yeah. But you know what? There's not really much to say about this match, other than the fact
it lasted like 2 minutes.
Yeah, and you know what? I mean, I know we just talked about burial and how that term is used very, very loosely. I'm going to go ahead and say that the Shield did bury. It did do a burial job in this match, because I cannot remember...
And it made sense to do so.
Yeah, exactly. And I cannot remember... I cannot remember a point in this match where Kane or the Outlaws got any offense. I can't remember anything.
I don't think they did.
Nope. And it ended with Roman Reigns doing a double, triple powerbomb, if that makes any sense, hoisting Road Dogg and Billy Gunn on his shoulders, and then slamming them both, and then they got the win.
It was a really good move.
It was. But the match served its purpose. I will say that.
Exactly, and the Shields are all 2-0 at WrestleMania now.
Exactly. I mean, I highly doubt this is going to start, a new streak or anything, but no. Alright.
Then, after this match, did you have anything else to say?
No, I didn't. I was actually just going to say that the next match on the card was, possibly the greatest match of all time in your eyes.
Oh my god, I was so hyped for this match. And the thing is, I was so hyped, but in the back of my mind, I was like, what if Big Show wins? Because that'll be really anticlimactic. And Cesaro was not advertised for this match. But oh my god, Cesaro slamming Big Show over the top rope was fucking phenomenal. That made up for that. Oh, that Battle Royal was great. It was so good. Once they kind of cut the fat at the beginning, it was great.
It was so awesome. And, I think I said this in the prediction video. This Battle Royal serves a better purpose than the Money in the Bank ladder match. Because for the ladder match, you could only get the mid-carders in there. In this match, you can get all kinds of guys in there. Mid-card or upper mid-card, lower card, guys who aren't even on TV at all. Even though JTG wasn't in this match, which I'm still shocked by. But
David Otunga was in this match.
David Otunga, Yoshitatsu, like these guys are on it. And this match,
Ezekiel Jackson wasn't because he got released the day of WrestleMania.
Yes, that is true. Ezekiel Jackson is gone. That I kind of saw coming, but I didn't think, but like
I've seen that coming for 3 years.
Yeah, but like I didn't think it would happen like on the day of Mania.
That must suck to like just go to work and like, yeah, you're released.
Would have sucked so bad. But one spot that I did want to talk about that I do not think that we mentioned before we began recording, Kofi Kingston spot.
Oh my god! If I can just say this right now, when that happened, Cameron texted me saying, how much more ideas can they come up with Kofi for Battle Royals in the Royal Rumble? I responded with, until he accidentally dies.
Oh my
god. And I'm joking around, of course. Kofi is just incredible with the shit he does.
Basically, just to give you a description of what he did, he got launched over the ring post. I forget who did it. I think it was either
Cesaro.
Yeah, him. So he gets launched over the ring post. I thought that Kofi was going to land on the steel steps, like back first on them, and think like, oh god, he's going to get hurt badly. But no, what he does, he lands on the steps, falls back. I don't know if that was planned or not, but the tips of his feet were still touching the steps, so he wasn't eliminated. And I was
so cool.
I was thinking like, what? Like, Kofi Kingston, man, I'm telling you, when people look back on Kofi Kingston's career, they are going to look at the handstand, the pogo stick chair, the leaping from the barricade to the apron, and this. That is what they are going to look back on. Maybe his feud with Orton, but these are the main ones that they are going to look back on. Because I've lost track of how many U.S. title reigns he's had.
Yeah, Kobe's had at this point, I think 4 amazing Battle Royal or Royal Rumble spots.
Yep. Yeah.
Nonetheless, Cesaro, people can finally shut the fuck up about them having to push Cesaro. The man is getting pushed, and as of the time of recording with this, he's now with Paul Heyman, and now, aside from maybe Curtis Axel and Ryback, if that isn't a sign of being pushed, I don't know what is.
Cesaro,
and then
I think I mentioned this to the people that I was watching Mania with last night. Next year is going to be the Mania of Cesaro and Roman Reigns. I can see it.
If they do my idea of ununifying the titles, I can think of 2 guys to win them, and that's Roman Reigns and Cesaro.
Yep. Because Cesaro is already over as hell, and him being with Heyman, which I think is a brilliant idea, him being with Heyman is going to do nothing but good things for him. Now, yeah, sure, you can say, like, oh yeah, Curtis Axel, that didn't really work with him, and Ryback. First of all, Ryback was already done before that started.
Oh god, he was dead and gone.
Curtis Axel, I would say after a month after he won a month after he won the IC title, it didn't do much for him.
When the IC title became a decoration around his waist around the time during his feud with Punk, I would say that was whenever Axel, I just lost faith in him.
Yeah, he really wasn't going to be much more than that. All right.
Anyway, going on from the Battle Royal, next match with John Cena versus Bray Wyatt, where Bray Wyatt had one of the coolest and creepiest entrances and attires ever. Oh my god, it was so cool. The red sweatpants were awesome. I'm just gonna say, dude, those were so cool looking. Ring gear matters to me.
Yeah,
it does, and those red sweatpants look great with Wyatt.
You know what was really neat about this? Wyatt got the cool entrance, and Cena just got his regular stuff.
Yeah, Cena has not had a special entrance since
28, I think, because he had
28. Yeah, MGK, whatever. MGK, no one cares.
But
because last year he just had the same exact entrance he had this year.
Mm-hmm, because the match between him and Rock just kind of just happened. Because after Lesnar and Hunter, it was just Rock and Cena. There was no mention of coming up next, you know.
Yeah, you just hear the beat at the beginning of Cena's entrance music, or the drum roll, whatever you fucking call it. I can't even think what that is.
Something. It's something. But
this match, Kyle pointed this out in the predictions videos. He pointed out that it doesn't matter who wins as long as this match is good, and this match was fantastic. Wyatt was getting in Cena's head every single second of the way. It was one of the most. It showed that Bray Wyatt is one of the greatest in-ring psychologists we've seen since Jake Roberts. Mm-hmm. And it's just the best spot of the match. My favorite thing about this match was when Cena went for the 5-knuckle shuffle, and he goes and it shows Wyatt got up on his crab. What is it called?
I think it's just the crab walk.
Yeah, fucking crab walk. He gets up in the crab walk position, and that doesn't show that Bray Wyatt is the future. He is going to. And that's what this WrestleMania was about. This WrestleMania was about starting a new era and the future. Wyatt losing this match is irrelevant to the fact that he looked amazing and he looked strong in defeat, and the era of Bray Wyatt is just beginning.
And if Raw was of any indication, I mean, like, I know that we're saving Raw for Wrestling with Mac later on this week, but Cena looked frightened as shit after the 6-man tag.
Oh, he did.
So yeah, Wyatt is going places. And then
it's just so good.
Yeah. And then moving on, the one thing that everyone is taking away from this pay-per-view. And
Undertaker versus Brock Lesnar.
We have the
streak on the line.
We have the undistinct pleasure of talking about it.
My thing with this match is before we talk about what happened, let's talk about the match itself.
Yes, definitely. The match itself, I thought it really wasn't great. It was good, but I mean, like, it wasn't on par with like the past Mania matches. Like, I was more into.
This was not the matches they had in 2002.
I was more into Punk versus Taker than Lesnar versus Taker.
Yeah, I agree, and I like Lesnar 10 times more than I like Punk. It's just, like, the thing with this match is, the match itself wasn't amazing, but I will say this, there was a moment where, whenever Lesnar first reversed the tombstone, I thought he was going to tombstone Taker, and I was terrified that Lesnar was going to break his neck.
Oh my god, yes.
But then he turned it into an F5, he hits the third F5 of the match, and then that free count happened, which no one saw coming, I don't think. Everyone was just
I remember sitting there watching it, and when Lesnar hit the third F5, and when he went for the cover, I was thinking, okay, Taker's going to kick out. But when the referee went 1, 2, 3, done, that was it. And people on top, and you know what? There have been some shocking moments in wrestling history. The Montreal Screwjob, the tragic accident with Owen Hart. I would say this was definitely one of the most unexpected moments I have ever witnessed in wrestling history. Because this is a moment that I'm going to remember for a long time. Because when I sat there and I watched as the hand came down for 3, and I mean, like, obviously this is a podcast, or I guess this is an audio version, so like you can't see my reaction, but my reaction was like I had my hands near my head, my jaw was dropped, and I was staring at the television for 5 straight minutes, and I couldn't form a sentence. I was still tweeting my hands were functional after a few seconds, but I was still tweeting and stuff with like my jaw dropped and shit, but I could not form a sentence for 5 minutes. Like, I couldn't talk. Like, it was like, again, like, this is a moment that I'm going to remember forever. Probably forever. It was...
The thing, this match, the deal with it is... the thing with Undertaker, and I tweeted that this is not a video game, this is happening. Because I remember SmackDown vs. Raw 2011, there was a versus Undertaker streak thing. And I remember Huh. I remember that one of the greatest, most underrated wrestlers of all time, Bitchin' Chicken Paulie. I ended the streak with him. And Bitchin' Chicken, he put a hell of a fight, and he beat Undertaker with the 450 splash. And then that was it. The streak was ended. At the time, it was 17-1 because that was like WrestleMania 26, in 2011, and so yeah, it's like Brock Lesnar ending the streak was a much better choice than Bitchin' Chicken Paulie. And Bitchin' Chicken Paulie was an incredible golden skinned, red haired wrestler, and he was an incredible performer. But Brock Lesnar, the thing with this match is simple. Lesnar winning makes sense. Undertaker gave the go ahead, and I thought it was a good decision. For this simple reason, if Triple H or Kane were not going to end the streak, I think Brock Lesnar was the perfect choice. Because Brock Lesnar is, as Paul Heyman has said, a conqueror. He's a badass. And he's a guy who, if they put it on a full-time guy who's wrestling every week, that's all you would ever hear about him. Like, every second he walks out, like, oh, he's the guy who ended Undertaker's streak. It's all you ever see. Lesnar being a part-timer, he shows up, he gets the nuclear heat he needs from it. And then, they go from there, because every single time he's going to come back, they're going to be like, oh my god, because they're going to get, if it was a full-time guy, they would get used to seeing the guy who ended Undertaker's streak every week. Well, Lesnar, they see him every 4 months. They hear his music, they're like, oh my god, wait a minute, it's the dude who ended Undertaker's streak. Fuck this guy, we don't want him back. Yep. So I just think it's something that it makes sense. I'm happy. It was like, I don't think the streak should have ended. I'm against that still, but I think it was an incredible moment. It's a moment, one of the greatest moments in WrestleMania history, one of the most shocking moments in WrestleMania history. And, Undertaker gave the go-ahead, and if Undertaker thought it was the right decision, then it probably was. Because I guarantee you Undertaker said, I don't know if Undertaker's fully retired, but I guarantee you Undertaker said, hey, this could be the last time I lace up my boots. I'm going to put this guy over. And he loves Lesnar. Undertaker, last year there was a story of an autograph signing before his match with Punk, where a fan asked him, is this your last match? Undertaker pointed at a picture of Brock Lesnar and said, I can still do something for that guy. And Undertaker did the ultimate thing for that guy, which is Brock Lesnar, and he put him over on the grandest stage of them all, being the 1 in 21-1. And the moment makes up for the match itself. I think it's something that, no matter what, it's in the mainstream of holy shit, the streak ended. It's something I don't think anyone ever saw coming. The crowd reaction showed it. The reaction on the internet, on Twitter and Facebook showed it. It's that whether it was a good decision or not to actually end it, it got reaction. It got the nuclear heat on Brock Lesnar, where he will now be a heel for life no matter what. He should never be faced, but still.
It got worldwide attention. Because
it got worldwide fucking attention.
It was the headline for a lot of, websites, newspapers. I mean, like, they showed like a little graphic on Raw of like all of the sites that have picked up on the story of the streak coming to an end.
Exactly. And it's just one of those things where the big question is, does Undertaker hang it up? Does anyone want to see Undertaker? My question is this: does anyone really want to see Undertaker wrestle at WrestleMania? One more time, 21-1. There's nothing on the line. The streak factor is gone. Is there a point to it?
I really don't think there is at this point. I mean, I would have loved to have seen Undertaker versus Cena, but now that the streak is done, I really don't see there much of a point in it anymore.
Exactly. Like, the thing with it is this: Undertaker laces up his boots forever. That expression went nowhere. Undertaker's done completely. He never laces up a pair of boots again. You know what? At least he can say this: he went off on the 30th anniversary of WrestleMania. He put over a hot guy. Oh, that sounded bad. I did not mean to word it like that. He put over a heel. He put over a monster. He put over a major monster heel star, a guy who Undertaker still has never beaten Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania. No shit, he hasn't beaten him at WrestleMania. He's never beaten him on pay-per-view. If there's anyone who's dominated Undertaker throughout his entire career, it's Lesnar. And it's just one of those things. Lesnar beating the streak made sense. I would have liked to have seen the streak never end, but you know what? It ended. That's how it goes. And if there's one expression I can say that summed it all up, when Undertaker was walking up the stage, JBL said it, and I think might have been the line of the night at WrestleMania, and that was the Gunslingers left town.
Yep, I remember. Yeah. That was such an epic line. And now Lesnar has an even bigger target on his back. Because now people would be like, you know what, I want to beat the guy that beat the streak. And yeah, sure, Lesnar's been beaten already by Triple H and John Cena. Yeah, sure. But those guys have proven themselves already to be top stars and future Hall of Famers.
Lesnar and Bryan has to happen at this point.
You know what? That's something I can definitely see happening. Maybe at SummerSlam.
Yeah, I would SummerSlam.
Yep.
Yes.
Alrighty, so moving on.
Divas match. The crowd did not give a fuck about this match. I did not give a fuck about this match. AJ made Naomi tap out. Whatever. I don't even remember what happened in this match.
Whoever decided. I mean, the streak obviously was like the biggest thing of the night. I mean, okay, yeah, sure, the Divas match served a purpose, was to cool down the crowd and everything, but I think it was pretty sour because nobody gave two shits. Nobody. And this is not me bashing the Divas division by any means. I am not. If you just watch the show back and if you look at the crowd, nobody gave a damn. Nobody gave a damn. Because they were still trying to sink in the fact the streak is done. So
I didn't give a damn sitting at home, looking at my laptop, watching on the WWE Network. I did not I did not care about the Divas match.
Yep. Oh, which by the way, comment about Mania on the network, perfect streaming.
Yes, I had no issues.
Did not have a problem. Perfect streaming. WWE has set them up with a new gold mine.
And Jamie, you know how terrified I was all weekend that WrestleMania wasn't going to work because
exactly.
It was not live streaming the WrestleMania Today thing, and I was even terrified that the day of, and I ended up watching WrestleMania 29 while waiting for 30. That just happened. I just figured whatever, but I don't know why I even said that, but that has nothing to do with anything. But still, like I said, streaming, it was great. Divas match, AJ retained. Whatever, she's not Divas champion now.
Nope. No, she is not.
Now Paige is, which I don't think anyone saw it coming.
Paige, yeah, that was another shocker. Yeah, and Paige beat her in like less than a minute, which I thought was hilarious.
Oh yeah, Paige beat her. So she's a cool dude, Vanilla Midget, tweeted saying that AJ is Paige now the 1-2-3 diva.
It's possible.
Which that is great.
All right, and then we move on to the main event. Triple threat match, WWE World Heavyweight Championship. Randy Orton, who came out to a very good performance by Rev Theory, defending the title against Batista, and the guy who defeated Triple H earlier on in the night to claim that spot, Daniel Bryan. And this match, I gotta say, this is probably one of the best triple threat matches I have ever seen. I wouldn't say it's the best one I've seen, but it's so good.
This match is the second best match at WrestleMania.
Oh, yes. By far.
This match was amazing. There were some spots that were just... There were times where I legitimately thought that Batista... There was a spot where I thought Batista was about to win.
I'm just saying now, if Batista had have won that match, that Superdome would not have survived.
The thing is I wouldn't have minded Batista winning. I honestly wouldn't have, but Bryan needed that win. And, oh my god, those fans would have gone in absolutely berserk if Undertaker and Bryan lost on the same night.
That Superdome would have came down. That Superdome would have came crashing down. But, anyways, this match had all kinds of twists and turns. You brought in the crooked referee from Night of Champions. I thought that was a magnificent touch. Of course, Bryan ends up booting him in the head and then doing a suicide dive on him and Triple H. Almost hit Stephanie. But, I mean, that stuff was nice. The Batista bomb into the RKO on the announce table was fantastic. Orton, I think, landed on the monitor, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, he fucked up his back.
Oh, yeah, and, his back, his back was bleeding, too. And, that one was really, really cool. or that spot. But the match came to a close when Batista went for the bomb on Randy Orton, and up comes Daniel Bryan, hits Batista with a running knee, snatches on the yes lock, and then makes Batista tap out. And I'm not gonna lie, Michael Cole's commentary had me tearing up a bit. I'm not gonna lie. As much as I would have loved to.
That was such a good moment, which I knew. I've been saying it for months. Well, I don't know if I actually ever said it out loud, but I've been thinking for months that moment where Bryan finally wins the title and he's holding both titles in his hands while screaming yes, and like thousands upon dozens of thousands.
Over 75,000 people, I think, in that.
Yes, 75,000 people chanting yes with him. It was incredible.
That was such a great moment, and. Daniel Bryan has worked so hard his entire career, and Daniel Bryan is one of the very few superstars. We both said this before we began recording, saying that Daniel Bryan is one of the few superstars that we have followed their careers up to this point in WWE.
This is very true.
Yep. And, it was awesome. As much as I would have loved to have heard JR on there going absolutely crazy, that would have been cool. But you know what? I thought Cole did a magnificent job. And just the final closing moments of Mania, that was so cool. And it was so well done. And
my thing is this: who would have ever thought that a little skinny guy from Ring of Honor would ever close WrestleMania with the World Heavyweight Championship belt in one hand and the WWE Championship belt in the other?
I would have sent you to the nearest psych ward.
Exactly. It's incredible. Daniel Bryan is the most over guy since Stone Cold. It's incredible.
Daniel Bryan is on the same level as Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Every bit, he is so over. It's like over doesn't even begin to describe Daniel Bryan at this point. It's like he's beyond over.
And I'm saying right now, the video package they made up for Daniel Bryan, taking a look back at his career when he first began here, being Mrs. Rookie, and up to the point now of him feuding with the Authority. I mean, it was great. Imagine Dragons' song Monster was a perfect fit. And, I haven't teared up at a lot of moments in wrestling, but this is one of the times where I did. And it was absolutely incredible. And you know what? My hat's off to, if I was able to wear a hat because my hair doesn't allow it, my hat's off to everybody involved with WrestleMania 30. The production value was spot on. Everybody who competed, it was great. Just overall a fantastic Mania.
WrestleMania 30 was a fantastic event. It is more good to go down history as one of the most memorable WrestleManias of all time, and arguably one of the best WrestleManias of all time.
Yes.
It was just overall fantastic. Other than the six-man tag accomplished what it needed to, and other than the really dead Divas match, I thought, and Undertaker and Lesnar was on the lackluster side, but for the most part, I thought it was a great card. I didn't think there was. Honestly, the entrances were some of the best I've seen. The set. I've been saying for a long time that 27 has my favorite set of all time, but 30 honestly might have beaten that because 30's set really made me happy. A good seat production value and a good set matters to me. Like, if I'm watching 80s wrestling, I'm not expecting there to be an amazing set, but like with nowadays, with the stuff they've done recently, it really matters to me. And after feeling like they slacked off a little bit last year, I'm extremely happy that the WrestleMania 30 set was amazing, and everything about it was fantastic. I feel like it was Bryan's night. It pushed a new era. A new era is beginning, and Raw proved even more. Cesaro is the strongest dude in the business, pound for pound, today, and it just proves that they're good at pushing. He's going to become a big, heavy dude. The Shield are a force to be reckoned with. It's something we've known for a while, but we learned even more. The streak is over. It is dead. It was ended by Brock Lesnar. Brock Lesnar is now the biggest and most unstoppable force in the WWE at the moment in storyline. He's got the nuclear heat that every heel wants. You've got Bray Wyatt proving that he's here despite not beating John Cena. He looks strong in defeat. It shows one thing and one thing alone, is that Bray Wyatt can work with the best of them, and that Bray Wyatt is going to be one of the biggest stars of the next 10 years, and of the end of this era, in fact. And if there's one thing it proved, it's that Daniel Bryan is the most over guy in the company. He's the biggest guy in the company right now, and he's WWE World Heavyweight Champion, and he's leading this era as champion. And it was a fantastic moment. It was a great show. I think it's definitely worth watching. I hate Steel Line, Jeremy Johns, but it's a good time, no alcohol required.
Yep. Couldn't have said it any better myself. And, again, it was a fantastic night. I would probably say, I would probably go as saying that WrestleMania 30 was a 10 out of 10. I would go as far as that.
Yeah, it's right up there.
Perfect 10. Yep. Alrighty, folks. So those were our thoughts on WrestleMania 30. What did you guys think? Let us know. Comment section below. Don't forget to like this video as well. Also, subscribe. YouTube.com/EVTV Production. Caleb, I'm assuming you've got some more reviews coming up in the near future.
Yeah, Shameless Season 4 review coming when I get the chance to record it, and Justified Season 5 review after it premieres.
Yes, and also...
Or after it ends.
Yes. Whatever. Yes, and also the True Blood teaser review is up right now.
Jesus Christ, that's gotten a lot of views.
So go ahead and check that out. And also, before we sign off here, do not forget to follow us all on Twitter. Myself, at Jamie Lee Mack. Your new handle is at Caleb B. Johnston, I believe.
That's correct.
Yes, and also follow Kyle at ReadyK13. Follow Cameron at that LSU fan. Follow one of our contributors, Ashley at Sweetchin Musics with the S at the end. And yeah,
don't follow that because he's on Twitter unless he likes to.
Yes. And do you have any closing thoughts, Caleb?
WrestleMania 30 was fucking awesome. That's all I really got to say. It's been worth every painful step I've taken today with that leg cramp I got from sitting there for 6 hours.
Yes, WrestleMania 30 was fantastic. Thank you guys for listening. Don't forget, like I said before, like, comment, subscribe. We got more stuff coming on the way. Wrestling with Mac later on this week. Thank you guys for listening, and we'll catch you next time.